the Israelite Nation, Worldwide Ministries.
Hi, everybody. My name is Taya. Thank you so much for joining us again at the Israelite Nation podcast. I will be hosting this week's edition, so thank you for joining me. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. So this week, I'm really going to be learning along with you guys. So today we have Elder Michael, and he's going to be teaching us all about the mystery of the Holy Bible. So Elder Michael, take it away.
Thank you for having me, Tia. It is a wonderful opportunity to be here and to share with you what I have learned from my elders' teaching. In addition to that, we are transitioning away now from the Freedom Month in August, and a lot of people are inquiring, what's next? What do we do now? We've brought to the public's attention the need for some form of reconciliation with regarding the children of slavery, and now they want to know what steps are to be taken. Now, I'm not here to say that my solution is the only one, but I'm here to say that we have a spiritual problem as the children of slavery, and that requires a spiritual solution. And not all spirits will work. We have to find the right spirit. And the only one that I know of that is relevant to our needs and to our circumstances is the Holy Bible. And the reason I'm saying this is because this book was written by Israelites, about Israelites, for Israelites. And this is why I'm saying it is the spirit of the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob that we can benefit from at this time.
Okay, and so you mentioned that we have a spiritual problem that needs a spiritual solution. So could you first just give us a summary or a breakdown of that spiritual problem?
Yes. The problem is this. Our Father, who is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has given us instructions, specific instructions on how we should conduct ourselves,
right,
how we should behave in his household. All of this is documented in the Holy Bible. We did not always abide by those circumstances. We did not listen to those instructions. So now what has happened is we have gone through a process whereby we have received punishment. That is what our enslavement was all about. Okay. We suffered for 400 years as a result of that. And there's so much to recover from. And this is where we begin. It's almost like the doctor. We visited the doctor's office, and he or she takes an analysis, and when they find that what the nature of the problem is, they write a prescription. And now we have to take that prescription to the pharmacist, fill it, and take the medication thereof in order to get better. So the prescription is get back to the foundation, which is the Holy Bible.
Okay, so that's what you're going to be touching on today, the prescription, the solution, how we can go about making changes that we need to.
Yes, we will look at it. Now, keep in mind that this is a continuation of a presentation that was started last week. So now we're taking it to another level to examine, not getting into too much of the details, but just to make people aware that this Holy Bible is a mystery book, is a hidden secret, is hidden in plain sight, and without us, the world will never know what's therein.
Okay, so this is what you're here for today then. You're going to get into that and talk a bit about the mystery and why the mystery exists today, why we're at this point and even having this conversation. Good
point. If you look at the scriptures, we did not make the translation in the English language. It was authorized for our behalf by our Father. Yet the people that made that translation into the English language do not understand a single word therein. And even though it's being translated into Spanish and French and German and Dutch and other languages, there is no understanding. Because you cannot, and here's a big deal, they try to teach. Now, you are a university graduate.
I am.
And you are very good at what you do, which I admire. Now, how is it possible that someone will try to teach you about a subject that they do not understand? And then if you don't get it right, to say, well, you failed.
Right.
You see? And this is where we're at today. Everyone thinks that the Bible is a Christian book, And they are trying to promote that concept. But that concept is false. And this is why I'm here, to let people understand it's an Israelite book written by Israelites, about Israelites, for Israelites. And that is the key. If they cannot get that, first and foremost, there's no point in going any further.
Right. So how did it get to the point where the belief or the common misconception is that it's a Christian book? How did we get there?
First of all, it's like this. You have a piece of property, right? Mm-hmm. It's yours. And you went away. You never returned. I don't know Toronto too well, but it is in one of the exclusive neighborhoods in this city. And it's been sitting idle for 400 years. Mm. Somebody came along and they said, you know what? Let me see what happened. They moved in. What do they call that? Squatting?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, after 100 years of squatting, they decided, well, hey, must be mine. And they started living in it as if it's their property, when it really isn't. The deed has not changed. The title has not changed. You are still, liable for the taxes, etc. This is exactly what we face today. So we run into a problem then, whereby there's identity theft, there's property theft, or the appearance thereof. And we have to correct that. So the first stage is to bring this mystery book back into the hands of the people to whom it belonged, so that they could do what is right to teach the world. And we are not prejudiced. Whomever wants to learn the truth, we are willing to share it with them, providing that they follow the instructions therein.
So you use the analogy or the metaphor of identity theft. And I'm just thinking now, if someone stole my identity, mm-hmm. the first step is to know that that's happened, I assume.
Right.
So what would you say about, us realizing that that's happened, realizing our history, and then going about addressing and fixing that identity theft?
A very good point. We have to address the historical concept. Mm-hmm. And remember, I said Christian book, but it's not just the Christians that are doing this. Mm-hmm. We have, this Christianity is doing it, Judaism is doing it, Hebrew Israelites are doing it. There's a whole bunch of people who are now apparently joining together to create an atmosphere that is fake. And they've been doing this for 400 years, except for the Hebrew Israelites who just started last week. But nevertheless, they've signed on. I have now coined the phrase Masonic Christianity, because that embraces Freemasonry, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hebrew Israelites, all of this foolishness that has nothing to do with what's in the Bible. So I like to make people aware that our identity of Israelites is being abused, because you can't really steal it. People don't realize that you can't just go straight to the level of Israel. Mm-hmm. You have to start with Jacob. But that's a whole different issue. So the Gentile Europeans, the Teutonic tribes, which were located in the north of Germany way back when, they joined with, that's from the north, mm-hmm. Then they joined with another set of people, the Ashkenazi Khazars from the east, and they're the ones that came to a conclusion that this book, they're going to take it over, because the owners are not paying attention, or haven't for 400 years. So now we're saying to them that it doesn't matter how long. Nobody's claiming the sun or the moon, right? They're there. You see, it's just that they don't have access to it. Mm. So that's maybe the difference. So now we have to say, not only to them, but to our own people. And I don't like to use the term black people, but just for communication's sake, I will say, to our own children of slavery, we need to get back to the Holy Scriptures and understand the mystery that is there. We should never allow a stranger to teach us about ourselves. That is called slavery. So this is where we begin, and the record of history confirms that these northern Teutonics have joined with the Ashkenazi Khazars to form this I don't know what to call it, this deception, right? Because they're brothers, they're family. And they came together to make this so that this happened, so that they can take advantage of the Israelite culture. In other words, when I say take advantage, so that they could benefit in the eyes of the public. Because in the true sense, they're doing themselves more of a disservice. But in the eyes of the average public, who is totally ignorant concerning this matter, they are benefiting financially and otherwise.
Right.
But in our eyes as Israelites, it's really stupid, because nothing like this has ever been attempted on earth before. You can't steal a culture, right? You have to be born into that culture and grow into the awareness thereof so that you can do the best that that culture allows. To me, it's just thugs. And they need to, first of all, be put in their place, not out of spite, out of truth. But at the same time, we will extend a hand to them to bring them in so that they too can learn about the truth and do exactly what the Israelite is supposed to do.
And so you mentioned the mystery of the Bible, and I think it would be fair to extend that and say confusion around the Bible and its teaching. So is it fair to say then that if it's being taught by Israelites, it's a book written by Israelites for Israelites about Israelites. So if it's being taught by Israelites to everybody else, to the general public, then that mystery and confusion would dissipate?
Disappear completely. Because, again, I can't tell you what my neighbors had for dinner because I'm not at the dinner table, you know. And even if they were to describe it to me in minute detail, I still can't get that flavor on my tongue. You know, as much as I love and I'm trying to put things together, because they have an entirely different cultural perspective. And as you know, I could go tomorrow and try to find a restaurant, whether it's Hindu or Muslim or what have you, but I don't know how they prepared the meal. You see, it is almost impossible to duplicate what is natural. You could only imitate. You see, and that's where we stand today with the Holy Bible. There is so much there that you have a father and his son, a father and his royal family, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, and his children, right? And they're having this conversation. And a lot of that conversation, maybe, 25% of it, is documented in the Holy Bible. And as I said before, it's almost like a library. It's not a book. There's several books in that library, and they're joined together by this royal cord that most people can never appreciate unless we share that with them. And this is where the mystery begins, because you think you can just pick it up and start reading. No. One of the points I will come to later, if not now, is the fact that we're dealing with a spiritual book. It is not just a book you can pick off the shelf and open it and start reading. First, you have to have the inclination to do it, spiritually, whether for good or for bad. And secondly, you have to submit to that spirit in order to gain the understanding thereof. And that spirit has to be the spirit of truth, which, fortunately, was only given to the Israelite, not to the world. So if there are two choices, and we got the spirit of the truth, well, you can guess what the others got.
Yeah, you could definitely guess what the others would have then. And so another question I have. So when you're speaking about the Bible, the Holy Book, the collection of books, this library about a specific people, what can you say about the times when it's broken down, when it's only read in pieces or only certain parts of it, certain books of it are being used to teach? And the idea that you can learn fully, you can learn that culture fully and those people fully by just a segment of the book.
One word.
What's that word?
Stupid. Ignorance. Stupidity. No, you honestly, you can't do that, because every word is connected to another one. Every verse is connected to another verse. Every chapter is connected to another chapter. So even though there are specific books about specific phases, the holistic perspective has to be understood and appreciated in order to connect those phases. You see? And you will see it is a book that there's prophecy, then there is reality, history, and then there is culture.
Right.
You see, all three must work together to give that holistic point of view. And you cannot do this from an exterior position. You have to be part of the family.